What's up, everybody? Welcome back to another episode. Too many frames. I know it's been way too long since the last episode, but there's been a lot that's been going on. I could explain everything, but just know that it's nothing super duper serious. It's just that they've been doing like a lot of renovations on the house, which has made it kind of hard to like record or prepare anything, and I didn't necessarily have any access or any like peace and quiet also to really do anything. So as of right now, we should be back at least for the next couple months until they do more renovations in July, but that'll be in July, so we should have a lot more time to be able to like, you know, make more content until I have to go on hiatus again in that month. But hopefully we'll still be able to have a few projects up and running by that time. But with that being said, welcome back to Too Many Frames, the show where we talk about video games, anime, and everything that is in between. I honestly missed you guys. Like, I haven't really made any videos in a while, and there was a lot of topics that I wanted to go over before. I went to the Nintendo Experience thing. We had the GTA 6 trailer, etc. We're going to talk about all that and more today. The Nintendo stuff is going to be saved to the very, very end. So if you're interested to see any of my like opinions about the Switch 2 or any of the games that I played over there, just wait till the end. We'll get to that, but it's going to be a little bit later. So first things first, I wanted to go over some quick little gaming news that I thought was a little bit important to talk about. First thing being the Street Fighter 6 Elena trailer. She looks extremely good, but the only issue is alongside her coming out, there is a lot of Third Strike characters coming out as like costumes for the single player mode, right? Now, a lot of people seem to think that that means that since those characters are going to be there, then they can't be actual playable characters later on. Now, I don't know where the fuck they were told, like, yeah, this is a Mii fighter situation like in Smash Brothers, but I don't think that that's necessarily the case. Like, I could see where you're coming from, like where that thought process might come from. Like, yeah, they're not gonna get here, so if you want to try to like pretend to be them, there's a costume right there, but they could easily change their mind at any point in time and being like, yeah, I kind of want to put that character in the game at some point. Who knows though? We don't know how long Street Fighter 6 is going to really last for. This could easily be like a game that lasts for 5-6 more years, which is like 5 to 6 more like fighting passes. So you still have a chance for some of those characters. I still want Yin and Yang. They talk about Yin and Yang a lot in that game, but you know, who knows? We'll see. Either one, I'm actually fine with. Regardless, though, other than that, we did get a new Pokemon TCG Pocket set. I think it's called Celestial Guardians. I forget. Either way, as of recording it, we got a new set. I've already pulled a lot on this. I'm gonna have a video go up a little bit later about the pulls that I had. I ended up doing that with my friend Snow. You guys can go ahead and see some of those pulls that we got. I did get shafted a little bit, but it's crazy because once I finished like pulling, like no spoilers, I ended up getting all the other cards that I ended up wanting anyway, so it's just kind of crazy, but that's besides the point. The sets look good, a lot of new stuff. The rare candy item is literally going to change the entire meta of TCG Pocket, which was already a fast-paced game, but it's even more fast-paced now. So we're gonna be in for a lot of fun shit, and also later on this month, more than likely in like 20 days, we will be seeing another expansion set again. So the game just keeps on coming out with new shit, which is really cool, but I do know a lot of players are kind of getting overwhelmed, so I'm wondering how this is going to affect the player base in terms of like what they can pull and what they're going to try to pull. But with that being the case, Expedition 33 has been booming, honestly. Like, I've seen so many people say that this is like guaranteed game of the year. They had already sold 2 million copies within its first few days. It's genuinely very, very impressive to see. And I was looking at some of the gameplay, and it does remind me a little bit of like a SMT game, but like with countering in the system. And I'm very interested to try to play it, but from what I'm hearing, this game is extremely good and it is a game to keep an eye out for. Very likely to get game of the year, and I don't know when the last time a turn-based RPG won game of the year. I think that was a long time ago. I know Persona 5 got nominated with like Breath of the Wild, but like shit, it was Breath of the Wild. Now, there are probably other games that might get nominated this year that might give it some trouble, but I think if it has this much word of mouth coming out around it from people that don't even like turn-based RPGs, there's a high chance that this is like our first one in a long time to actually win it. All right, that's pretty much everything I wanted to talk about in terms of like really quick news, but I did want to go over some of the new, probably the final Nintendo financials for the Nintendo Switch, at least for the base Nintendo Switch alone, until Switch 2 comes out. We did finally get those results. As of right now, the Nintendo Switch has sold 152 million units, and in terms of software, they have sold up to 1.3 billion units, which is a lot, you know. So in terms of like new games that we ended up seeing like do relatively well, Super Mario Party Jamboree got 7.48 million. Zelda Echoes of Wisdom ended up going up to 4.9 million. Donkey Kong Country Returns ended up actually succeeding, getting over 1.27 million. And surprisingly enough, it seems like Xenoblade did not get over 1 million copies sold for Xenoblade Chronicles X with the remaster, which is very unfortunate for Xenoblade fans, but I do see how, you know, this wouldn't be the case, mainly because the game kind of only came out like less than 2 weeks ago. So it does make sense why, you know, they're not necessarily up here in terms of like where the numbers are at. But I thought with how many people were hyping this shit up, that it would have at least hit 1 million by now. But I mean, also it is Xenoblade, so I'm not going to expect it to really do that well unless there's like a lot of word of mouth from it. So this is all kind of like expected a little bit. But in terms of like games that we saw already do extremely well, like some of the top hitters, Mario Kart 8 Deluxe ended up getting 68.2 million copies sold. Animal Crossing New Horizons ended up getting 47.8 million units sold. And the one that I wanted to kind of talk about the most, even though there are the other ones like, yeah, Smash Brothers and Zelda, etc., I wanted to talk about Pokemon Scarlet and Violet selling 26.7 million copies, which makes it the second best selling Pokemon games of all time, which, depending on who you are, this is either great news or like terrible news. Now for me, it's obviously good news because like, okay, that means Pokemon's not going anywhere for a long time, but also I'm a little bit hesitant to be excited because I do know that if they see these high numbers, they're like, bro, we can do whatever the fuck that we want without having to change anything. Now, I still am very optimistic on their decisions moving on in the future, because they have made so many changes in terms of like just, you know, the way that they are making the games now, right? And I feel like the fact that they're making champions a thing so it could separate the battle system, more than likely, that's my theory, right? And they are also making Legends games even more interesting in terms of like setting and gameplay mechanics. I do think that they are taking into account like our like complaints for the series. Now we will actually see what this looks like when Gen 10 comes around, but I do have somewhat more of high hopes for them than other people usually will. We just have to wait and see though. Unfortunately, Pokemon Company and Game Freak specifically has disappointed us a lot in the past, so we can only really expect what we have been given. But with that being the case though, Nintendo Switch kind of went out with a bang, being like the third most sold console in just video game history. A lot of people were saying like this shit, the console's ass, which I mean, it kind of is in terms of like, you know, power level, but in terms of games and what it had on it, it did really well. And honestly, I'm kind of sad to see, you know, it not be able to continue to break records with the Switch 2 coming out. And with that being said, I also wanted to bring up, without talking about the Nintendo Switch 2 experience that I ended up having, they did say that they are expecting to sell 15 million units of the Nintendo Switch 2 within, I'm assuming, the first year, which I honestly think they're gonna probably do that shit within the first day. If everything's sold out right now and everybody trying to get a Nintendo Switch 2 right now, they more than likely are not going to be able to keep up with production, which is why they're so confident in saying that they're going to have 15 million units like sold within the first year, right? Now, with that being the case though, very exciting if you're a Nintendo fan. That means that the Switch 2 is going to get a lot of support. It does not look like it's going to be a Wii U situation. I did want to also go ahead and talk about the pre-orders that we ended up having for the Switch 2. I got mine, luckily. I got kind of scared because I got a refund for it, and I'm like, did they cancel my order? Because I got it with Walmart, right? But it ended up being fine. It's just like a temporary hold that I had, so they're going to charge me again once the console is on its way. So I should be good. But with that being the case, let me know in the comments if you guys ended up getting your Switch 2 pre-order or not. I'm interested to see how many people are actually going to be able to play this shit right away without having to worry about scalpers and whatnot. But with that being the case, moving on from the Nintendo news, but then kind of also moving into Nintendo similar stuff, I wanted to talk about real quick about Pokeaim MD, Joey Pokeaim, if you know him, one of the best Pokemon players of all time, getting top 8 in his regional. Now, if you don't know him, he's a Pokemon content creator that mainly plays competitive Pokemon, but in the singles format and in VGC, they tend to use doubles, and doubles is like the only format that they actually use, mainly because it makes the games go by faster, and it kind of requires a little bit more you know, brain power and more strategic thinking, you know, when you are playing in doubles, in the doubles format. But with that being the case though, Joey ended up getting forced by his subscribers to go ahead and join a regional, and even though that was his first regional in like years, he still performed very, very well. I watched a few of his matches. That man is crazy. He predicted an Ursaluna to terrestrialize twice and hit it with an electric type move twice. Like, that shit is crazy. I know if you don't know anything about Pokemon, that shit sounds like what does that even mean? Just imagine, like, it's a 50-50 chance and he flipped that coin every single time and got it right? A lot of those matches that required, like, you know, like a coin flip, he predicted right. That's how fucking crazy that is. And I think when it comes to Pokemon especially, it's extremely difficult to kind of get those 50-50s right a lot of the time, especially if you kind of like overthink yourself a lot. That just goes to show how his mental constitution is just extremely fortified, right? Like, he was crazy. I just saw him that entire time just aura farming while playing this shit, bro. He did end up getting top 6, which I'm very excited for. Hopefully he does end up, you know, getting more accustomed to playing VGC. I saw Blunder streaming that shit, and streaming even more VGC shit a little bit afterwards, and it was very entertaining to watch. So I'm hoping that a lot more people are starting to kind of migrate over to the VGC sphere, and we can end up having a bigger esport for the Pokemon company, you know, that's not fucking Pokemon Unite or Pokemon Go, you know. But with that being the case, other than that, we did end up getting a GTA 6 trailer alongside a confirmation of GTA 6 getting delayed to next year, May 26, 2026. Now, I was watching the trailer. It looks fantastic. They had a lot of cool things in there, man. The graphics, I mean, honestly, I'm not gonna lie to you, there's no gameplay. They say that there's gameplay. They said that the trailer was half gameplay, half cinematic shit, but genuinely, what do you mean? Everything looked like a movie. That's how good it looked. Like, I couldn't tell the difference between gameplay and, you know, like a cutscene. Like, that's how crazy it was. Now, I'm very excited to see how the story unfolds, I mean. But my whole thing is, like, I'm not super sure how to feel about the story. Like, it looks like a Bonnie and Clyde type situation, which I'm like, okay, that's cool, but I wasn't necessarily a huge fan of GTA 5 story. I know I got fucking shat on for even saying that with a few of my coworkers last week, but like, I wasn't necessarily a fan. Like, I was like, all right, it's cool, like, it's funny, but like, in terms of like story wise, I was like kind of like underwhelmed. I'm hoping that this one kind of does better, especially with like the setting that we're in. I mean, shit, it's Florida, Miami, so I mean, you know. But it's gonna be cool though. Everything looks good. They had so many screenshots that went up. It just goes to show how like detailed Rockstar Games is with this game and just their games in general. So I'm very excited to see how they kind of are gonna have this game looking when the game comes out, or when they actually have like a gameplay trailer ready. Because every time that we see this game, it looks better. You can look at the first trailer and have it connected to this trailer, like set up side by side. Very obvious that this second trailer is fucking fantastic. And I'm wondering if they delayed it because they wanted to have GTA Online like available like at launch. We won't really know until later on, but hopefully that is the case. I'm not trying to wait like a year for GTA Online. All right, like I would rather it be like maybe a month or two, but like a whole year, I'm gonna be mad. But other than that, I'm very excited for this game. A lot of people are starting to, I mean, at least it looks like to me, a lot of people are kind of being like, you know what, yes, this game is worth $100, you know, but I don't know. I think I think a lot of people are kind of being flip-floppy with the money thing. Like, a lot of people are like, nah, a game should not be over 60 or over 70. But then as soon as something comes out and it's $80, people start getting upset about that even more. But then some people are like, never mind, it's actually worth the $80 price. But then they are like, nah, it's not worth $80. No game's worth $80. And they see the GTA trailer, like, that's a game that's worth $80. So I'm like, honestly, I don't know. Everybody doesn't know what the fuck they want. They can't make up their mind. Now, other than that, we ended up getting a Overwatch 2 collab announced today. for Street Fighter 6. I'm not gonna lie to you, as somebody that loves Street Fighter 6 and that used to play Overwatch, they're trying to get me back. They are trying to get me back. I don't know why. I don't know who at Blizzard has been doing this shit. They put a Gundam collab. They're doing this. They're doing like a whole lot of changes. They're trying to get me to come back. And with Marvel Rivals being in the state that it's in right now, where I can't even fucking play that game without getting pissed and tilted, I'm close to reinstalling. I'm not going to, but they got me. I'm so close. I might just have somebody buy one of the skins from my account. In terms of like characters, they had characters like Chun-Li as Juno. They had Soldier 76 as Guile. They had Zenyatta and Dhalsim, which is like, yeah. And they had like Juri as Kiriko, Widowmaker as Cammy, Ryu as Hanzo. Just a lot of shit, right? Now I am excited for the collab, like at least to see what they look like in game, but I'm not excited for some of the characters that didn't get shit. Like, I don't know, they could have given a DJ skin to Baptiste, you know, like DJ could have been a Baptiste skin. They could have given Elena's skin to Sojourn, you know, that would have been cool. But I mean, I know Elena's not out yet, so I know that's probably the reason why they haven't done it. But I mean, those characters deserve more skins. I feel like Juno already had a collab skin with My Hero Academia. Kiriko already had a collab skin with My Hero Academia. Fucking Soldier, well, did he have a collab skin? I actually don't remember if he had a collab skin. Either way, there's a lot of other characters that deserve collab skins, and I feel like they kind of are just putting out the most popular ones only, and the ones that kind of make sense. Like, I'm okay with Zenyatta getting a collab skin. That's cool. Obviously, that was my main back in the day, but I mean, I'm just like, all right, another Kiriko skin. Yay, she gets 2 collab skins. Dope. Anyways, with that being the case, moving on. The last thing that I wanted to talk about that could have been in the quickie news, but I kind of wanted to like give them a little bit more attention to, was the increase in prices, and then also the Xbox handheld that got leaked. I'll talk about the Xbox handheld first. Essentially, it's just an Asus ROG, but like Xbox edition, essentially. And a lot of people are not like fans of the way that it looks. Like there's like some handles on it, like it looks like a controller actually on the sides, but it's like built in, so it doesn't look as, you know, not interesting, like as comfortable to really hold. Like it probably is comfortable, but it just doesn't look comfortable. It just looks ugly, you know. And I feel like that's the one reason why people were kind of like turned off from the handheld itself. Now we do know that we are getting a Xbox, like an actual Xbox handheld coming very soon, and then also a PlayStation handheld coming very soon, which who knows how that is going to go, because, you know, with the tariffs and everything, it's looking a little bit, not even a little bit, a bit scary. Almost everything is going to be affected by these tariffs. We already kind of talked about this earlier on the show, like the last episode that we did, but it is looking a lot more realistic that a lot of games and consoles are going to be increasing their prices by an insane magnitude. And the first company to actually do it seemingly is Microsoft. Pretty much everything got increased by like almost $100. It's effectively like a 20% price increase, and it's already in effect, right? The old price is $300 for like an Xbox Series S, whereas the new price is like $379.99, which is kind of crazy because, you know, they were kind of selling the Xbox Series S as like the budget console. Like if you wanted like some next gen, like a next gen console that could still play next gen games but isn't super expensive, you would go with the Xbox Series S. But now it's even more expensive than a Switch, which is kind of unfortunate. And I mean, it's still cheaper than a Switch 2, but it's like, damn, it's Xbox, you know. I feel like these are the people that can't really afford to increase prices, right? Like the most expensive thing that was sort of a jump was the Xbox Series X 2TB Galaxy Black one, going from $600 to $729, which is like $130 price increase. And then on top of that, we have not only just the consoles, like the games as well, right? Like the headsets are increasing by like $10 for like the wireless one. The controllers, which I understand is like, it's like an elite controller, so that's why it's that expensive, but it's going from $180 to $200 for a controller, which is effectively like more than half of what an Xbox Series S is. It's just kind of crazy. Like pretty much everything is getting a price bump, which I mean, Nintendo also had that recently as well, where the console didn't get a price increase and the games didn't get a price increase, but a lot of the controllers and other peripherals ended up getting increases in price. So as of right now, we're in scary times. Games are getting more expensive. Everything is sort of looking like bleak, but that's just the way the world is going at this point. Like, there's nothing else to really say about that. If you are a person that likes games and you want to get new shit, you better hold on to the shit that you got. I'm honestly surprised that Sony is even considering making a PlayStation 6 as of right now, or even like us going into the next generation. I think if I was them, I would hold off on that shit for like at least a year or two, because as of right now, with our current administration, at least in the US, a lot of people are not going to be able to afford these new prices, right? And they're not going to help increase your sales. Like, and this is just Xbox right now. Sony hasn't even said where they're at with their shit. Like, Nintendo and Xbox said, like, all right, this is the price increases. More than likely, Steam Deck is gonna get increased, right? And it's gonna hurt. It's gonna suck a lot, but we'll just have to wait and see what's going on. Damn, I say that a lot. I notice I say we have to wait and see a lot, but that's the truth. That's the truth. We don't know anything right now. Like, we don't know. Like we're kind of in the known yet the unknown a little bit, but fuck, I don't know. Scary times. Luckily, I got banned, so I don't know if y'all ain't got your money up. That's on y'all. But all right, now before I forget, I almost forgot. I almost stopped recording. I did have to talk about the Nintendo experience that I had with the Switch 2. Now I'm gonna go through this really quick. All I wanted to really say was that the Switch 2 is exactly what I thought it was gonna be. It's a better Switch. It's a bigger Switch. It looks better in terms of like color and how everything shows up with like the HDR and everything. It looks fantastic. Like, comparing, I'm sure everybody has seen the comparisons from the OLED and the regular version of the Switch 2. It looks good, it looks very, very comparable. Obviously the OLED screen is a little bit slightly better, but with HDR being built into the Switch 2, it's able to kind of keep up with terms of color. And hopefully we end up getting an OLED version of the Switch 2 later on, but also I don't think we really need it. It'd be kind of redundant. Other than that though, in terms of games, Mario Kart World, fire, love that shit. I'm gonna have my friend in some of these because I couldn't really record myself, and I wanted everybody that I was with to kind of have fun instead of being like, just recording shit for me, because I kind of felt bad. I know like in certain parts that's where it kind of was, but I only really played like a few of the games. Like, I've played a lot of shit, but I didn't get to record a lot of it. But for the most part though, I had a lot of fun. Played Donkey Kong Bonanza. That's definitely my the game that I'm most excited for the Switch 2. Mario Kart World, extremely fun. Loved that shit. They had I was good at the game. All right, I'm gonna be honest. I was really good at the game until they got me into the knockout tour shit. I was the first one out, which sucks. But I mean, other than that though, really, really cool. I loved everything about it. It just felt smooth. Unfortunately, they only had us on 150cc, and I'm like, damn, I wish I could go faster. But I mean, it's whatever. It was really cool though. I enjoyed it. Damn, I'm trying to let me kind of order my thoughts in right now. Donkey Kong Bonanza, once again, bringing that up. One of the games I played like the most. They had like so many things to do. Like, I already saw the treehouse beforehand, so I kind of already expected like, okay, this is probably what I'm gonna be able to play at the Switch 2 experience, which I was right about. But it was so fun being able to actually explore and do all of that like cool shit myself. Like, I was able to like burrow under anything and kind of break a lot of shit. Now I can't obviously break everything, but for the most part, like, everything was breakable. And also you got like a map, and that map showed like your path of destruction. And I looked at the map towards the end of like my playtime for Donkey Kong. That shit was like basically cleared out. I wish I had a picture of that, but it was basically cleared out. I was just fucking pressing buttons the entire time, and in a good way. Like, I know some games like require you to like, use your brain, use your noggin when it comes to like platformers and shit. This game, I feel like, where you do have to probably use your brain and your noggin a few times, for the most part you're just mashing away, getting your little bananas and shit. Like, honestly, really fun game. I love that shit. I can't wait. I'm really excited. Hopefully I can get that Switch 2. I hope that shit does not get canceled, bro. I got so scared. I got so scared this morning because I got that money back from it. I was like, wait, did my Switch 2 get canceled? No, but I'm fine now. Regardless though, We played a few other games. Dragon Drive, really fun, but I don't know how long it would be fun for. I think it was cool for like a little bit, but we ended up, you know, getting tired after a while, like just moving our arms a lot. I feel like if you work out, all right, you won't have that much of an issue. For me, as a guy that like doesn't work out that often, I can't imagine myself doing this on my desk for like more than an hour, like dead ass. Probably more than 30 minutes. That game's probably only fun like in a vacuum. Like, and I also, it's like a party game, but I can't see everybody coming over with their own switches to play Dragon Drive. Also, the price is also going to be a huge factor in that. If that shit is over 30 bucks, I don't think anybody's, honestly, if it's over 20 bucks, I don't think anybody's getting it, like dead ass. Like it has to be like within like the $20 range in order for people to like actually want to buy it. But I guess we'll see what the prices are looking like for that game relatively soon. Other than that, we played a good amount of Street Fighter 6, which was pretty fun. We ended up playing a little bit more than I thought we were going to be allowed to play, but it was really fun, really cool. They had like a little like that mode that they showed off in the Switch 2 presentation they had for us here to play. They gave us a controller and we just shook the thing the entire time. And you just tilt it to move, shake it to attack. You do like some other motions and shit for your specials. It was honestly really fun. I think in terms of like a party game, not saying that Street Fighter 6 is a party game, but if you had a Switch 2 and you had the Switch 2 version and you had like everybody was just chilling out at the crib and you're like, hey, y'all want to play Street Fighter 6? You could, you know, I feel like everybody would be able to be at an equal level as long as you're like actually trying to shake that shit. Like you actually gotta want it, you know? Besides that, I didn't get a chance to really play Metroid Prime 4, unfortunately, mainly because everybody was kind of stacked up, and one of the friends that I was going with is a huge Metroid Prime fan. So it didn't feel right for me really to play over him. So I was like, you know what? I'll let you have it. I'll let you have it. I think you deserve it more than me, you know? And he played for a good amount of time. He said he was extremely excited for it. Also, anything that I'm recording is with my phone, so you are like not even seeing 100% of the Switch 2's potential in terms of like visuals and like frame rate, all that shit. Like it looks way better than what I'm showing you guys right here, but it is extremely fun. I'm extremely excited for this console. Other than that, I did get to play Soul Calibur 2. I ended up playing against Gen 1er, funnily enough. Shout out to him, and he did beat my ass, but I'm not gonna lie to you, I was trying not to geek out. That's the reason why I got my ass beat. That's my excuse, genuinely. Other than that though, fun game. I like the GameCube shit. They had people playing Mario Strikers. That shit was extremely cool, bro. Like I don't know, like it just gave me I think because I was born closer to the time that the GameCube came out, so I have like a lot more experience playing GameCube than any of the other Nintendo Switch Online like games and shit. I think that the GameCube Switch Online experience is like going to be a lot more fun, especially with all the games that they're going to end up having been put out on it, you know? I think those games are going to be really cool. Other than that though, there wasn't like a lot of games I was able to really try. I wanted to do the Cyberpunk one. I mean, I could have, but all my friends wanted to kind of stay in like the other area because like we don't want to play Cyberpunk, we don't want to play Yakuza, you know? But it was cool though. I liked it. Everything was super fucking sick. They even gave me, hold on, give me a second. Let me see if I can find it. Where'd it go? Oh, here it is. They even gave us some free swag. If you follow me on Twitter, you would have already saw this like basically the day that it happened. But yeah, for the most part, everything was cool as shit. I was really excited. I'm happy that Nintendo was able to choose me for the lottery. Everybody was having fun for the most part. You know, we played that Mario Party game. Not sure if that one was worth spending $20 extra and then also $50 extra on top of like the camera, which I mean, if you think about it, that's basically a brand new game. But I mean, it was fun though for like the 5 seconds that we played it. You know, I feel like it'd be more fun if we weren't trying to scream and move and jump around like all like, I don't know, like that small ass box that we were in and with like a whole bunch of other people that were around us. But I mean, for the most part, it was cool. So I wasn't disappointed. Everything else was good. I appreciate Nintendo a lot for that. Other than that though, look, that's gonna be the end of today's episode. Sorry that it took so long. Hopefully we're not gonna be like this anymore. I do have a couple videos going up a little bit later on this week. So if you are looking for more content from me, just keep an eye out, keep the notification bell on, make sure to subscribe, like, all that good shit, and I'll see you guys in the next video. Peace out.